Okay, I first knew this video was going to have a problem when I was checking the quality setting and saw that this video did not contain a 60 FPS option.
Okay, hear me out. You see a large number of animators who are new to the game and are constantly trying to improve their craft. Amid these conditions, however, misconceptions crop up on how to improve animation and what looks better than what. And a lot of the time, people come to a similar vague conclusion that smoother animation is better animation. Here's why they're wrong.
Part 1. Higher frame rate does not equal smoother animation.
Now the brilliant me has discovered what smooth animation truly is. It's how many different actions you can cram into the smallest amount of time possible. Like, look at these petals. In this 12 FPS video it can look pretty smooth, but it is hard to see all the details of the path that each separate flower petal took. But in this 60 FPS you can easily see the details of everything going on and it looks glorious. So if you are making a video with lots of people who are each doing something different as fast as they can, it will be harder to follow the lower the frame rate. Which means 60 FPS has the biggest potential for greatness. It's not about how buttery someone lifting the hand looks, it's about performing a bunch of complex tasks quickly. So yes, if you are doing some weak fan video where there is not much happening at once, a smart person can pull it off. The problem with a lot of high frame rate people is that they are noobs, so they use ease in ease out badly and manage to make it less fluid than the non-noobs who made a low FPS video. Cause there are way less good high FPS YouTubers compared to the tons and tons of low FPSers.
Take for example, The Feud of Brick Hill by Forlorn Creature. Its over-the-top cartoony animation is reflective of the personalities of the characters, which makes it easier for the audience to understand and empathize with them.
If a smart high FPS person did this, he could give even more details about the personalities.
Let's take a look at a short recreation of the Civil War trailer I made back in 2015. Since I was going for a frame-for-frame remake, I copied the source clips as closely as I could, overlaying the live-action clip onto my animation timeline. I wasn't considering the flow of the minifigure's movements and how those would translate from that of a human being. I instead focused on matching the original frame rate and animated at 24 FPS.
The problem here is that real people have way more joints than a Lego man, so you can tell that there is way less motion in the Lego version, so it looks bad. To match a Lego man to all that strength it looks like a human is giving off, you have to accommodate for all those multiple joints moves with a single huge move from the less articulate figure. Even Bionicles have less joints than a man, so you can see in my video I make them do much bigger swings than people do IRL.
It goes to show that what's more important is that you understand how the frame rate you're filming in affects the way you animate. If you just animate like you would at 15 FPS when you're animating at 24 FPS, spacing between frames based on your sense of timing is drastically changed.
Yes, filming different frame rates is a very different beast. With high FPS you can't hide all your crappily timed moves as well as with low FPS, so if you suck it will show way more the higher you get.
Part 2. Easing in and out is bad.
No, it's not. The problem is just that cunts think they have to do it in every punch or something. Look at my video, even with high frame rate I don't make things go slow, they are swinging like banshees, so no ease outs needed. Just don't be a noob and you'll be fine.
To make their animation smoother and more lifelike, which is good. I brought up that story because a lot of people think it's a steadfast rule that applies to every clip that's animated, but rules that are blindly followed 100% of the time can stifle creativity and style. Ooh, look at those buttery sweet frames!
No, this is not a 60 FPS video, so those are not buttery smooth, they are just normal smooth.
But I worry that sometimes brick filmers can focus too much on the animation and in turn neglect aspects like lighting, cinematography, and narrative. And I think it needs to be said that you don't need to have flashy animation to make a good brick film. Just look at Rio Force's Sola Luna. Not a single word is uttered, yet this brick film has more heart and character in it than 90% of the stuff out there.
The stop motion is the heart, it's the flash of the lighting that is the flashy extra stuff.
And it achieves that through atmosphere. The soft piano tracks, glowing lighting, and character framing really make the film, while the animation, comparatively, is humble. It's not more than it needs to be, focusing on emotion and timing.
The emotion you are talking about is just slowly zooming in on a still frame, a cheap trick that have been pretending to be deep and thoughtful for years, and it needs to be stopped.
Rather than crazy 24 FPS low-gravity backflips.
Whoa, hold on there boy, 24 FPS backflips are not crazy, they are normal backflips. The fact that people say 60 FPS does not make enough of a difference to be worth the time means that it is 60 FPS backflips that are crazy. You may not be able to easily see a difference, but there is a difference, and it's a big one, so don't be putting 60 FPS in with those weak 24 FPS videos that are nothing compared to the skills required to pull off a good 60 FPS video.
Now, I'm not saying that you have to go for Oscar-worthy emotion and atmosphere with your projects.
Yes, be sure to separate the trash from the stuff that took effort.
And of course, this isn't at all saying you shouldn't try working at a higher frame rate, or easing in and out, or making your animation better than it was before. Taking that next step, doing something new, pushing yourself to be better than you were before is all necessary for growth. And who am I to stop you?
This is good advice here. Don't become okay with your videos being garbage. Actually try improving something, you dweebs. But the true goal here is to defeat the ultimate enemy of stop motion. This frame blending slop that if your movements are simple enough, it can take your crappy footage and make it appear to be very smooth. So basically, if you put one of these filters on your animation and your camera moves and stuff are so complex that they break the blending, then you know you have done a good job. So if you ever see smooth stop motion that looks just a bit CGI, then you know it is just a crappy filter encouraging noobs to make weak low FPS simple moves and then just let the computer do the rest. And that is the end of the video, but hold on, what manner of crap is this? Clone Training Center is the best brick film ever. Now that is the worst joke I have ever heard.
It sounds presumptuous, doesn't it? You'd think that the best stop-motion animated Lego film would be some beautifully animated 24 FPS yet-to-be-discovered art house flick known only by the Bricks in Motion cult. But what makes Clone Training Center the best when put up against hundreds, thousands of contenders? I mean, sure, it's fun, the characters are memorable, and the concept is unique, but while the animation is good, it's not incredible, especially when compared to some of the more fluid action films out there. Some might even consider it basic. And yeah, while it's a simple comedy story, it doesn't say anything on a deeper, more artistic level, which a lot of people would assume from the greatest. For me, what sets this brick film apart from the rest is style and the spirit of brick filming.
Okay, I somewhat get what has happened to him. It's the old subconsciously scared of the skilled people routine. He is trying to say the film that is his favorite emotionally is the best. 'Cause it was his first brick film and all that.
Now, call it bias, call it nostalgia goggles, call it whatever, but Clone Training Center was the first brick film I ever saw.
Now, I'm somewhat like that too. My favorite Bionicle videos are the Monster series by Mr. Big C Val. It was one of the first BioTube videos I had seen, so I am somewhat emotionally compromised by it. I mean, look at that monster eat da boys. And as I like those videos, I don't love good people like Brotherhood Workshop, because he is mostly a sellout who makes really short videos for Lego. They are just ads and they feel empty inside. So I might even put the monster stuff as my favorite Bionicle videos, but even with that I would never put it in my top best Bionicle videos because I see it is weak compared to the blood and tears took to create the strong videos. There is a difference between the best and what grabs at your weak, uncontrollable emotions. In the end, higher frame rate has more possibilities, but people just accept that they can make good enough videos with low FPS, so they just do that and don't make something that can be truly beautiful. But I do find it weird that there aren't more low FPS videos with constant motion. It is less time consuming than all the high FPS ones we are getting, so why are there not more of them?